Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to a new video. So in this video, I'm going to continue our experimentation with this Starseeker Super 58. We have seen my previous videos. For the ones of you who have watched the previous videos, we did an unboxing video about it, and then we tried to use it in one of the other videos. And I tried to do some like playing around with the refractometer, and over the past days, I have been using it extensively, morning and night, to check the quality of coffee it can make for me, and the daily use of it. Is it really giving me peace of mind when I use it or no? Especially that I've been using Wakako Picopresso for years. Okay, it's around 3 years or maybe more or so. I'm using Wakako's Picopresso, I believe 3 years. And it used to be my coffee maker whenever I'm outside my home, like at my office or when I travel or anything like that. So it used to serve me a lot, and it used to give me a lot of good coffee cups over the past years. So we have changed that with that. So the differences in size are like very obvious. This is a big bag and this is just a small guy in my hand. Every one of them has its own pros and cons, of course, and it depends on how you would really want your coffee maker to be. Is it just the size that matters to you? So something like this would be amazing, of course, because it's just the size of your hand, of your palm, so you don't feel that it's a big thing you have to carry. And also the weight of this is like 550 grams or so, less than 600 grams all in all. And this guy is like a big bag, as you see. It's not that very big bag, but it's a big bag comparing to Wakako's Picopresso, of course. This weighs around 1.8 kilograms, because in the beginning, and when I weighed the bag with the holder itself is like weighing a lot of weight, because it's made all of metal. But I'm just putting it at home. I'm not taking the holder with me outside. So the bag itself, without the holder, just has the tools that you need, like the tamper, the dosing ring, and the coffee maker itself is like 1.8 kilograms. This is 1.8 kilograms, and this guy here is like 550 grams. So the differences between them are around the size of a grinder, I would say, a hand grinder. 1.3 kilograms difference between both of them. So this is not something easy. You have to keep in mind that if you're traveling, you have around 2 kilograms of your travel bag dedicated only for the coffee maker. Okay, this is a point. Let's see together what each of them has. I'm not sure if every one of you is aware of what Picopresso is, but if not, you can follow or you can watch my previous video on it. My previous videos on it, I did a lot of videos about it, and many people spoke about it before. But it's just an espresso maker that comes in this small carry case, and this is all. Picopresso has a lot of things in it inside. So it is promising 9 bar extraction, and it has a capacity, I think, of like 60 milliliters or 80 milliliters, if I'm not mistaken. This chamber here takes up to 80 milliliters. Okay, and it comes with these tools, like a needle to do the WDT and a small brush that I've never used. Okay, and it also comes with a tamper and a dosing ring. Okay, so the same idea of a tamper and dosing ring are also coming with the Starseeker Super 58, but it does not come with a small needle like this, so you need to find out your own needle in case you need to do a WDT before tamping. Okay, this is the Picopresso, and the lower part has this, like, you can say that this is just a cover, a lid of the machine. It can also act as a drip tray after extraction, and it has the lower part that definitely has the shower screen. Okay, and just a small spoon like that, so that you can use it to weigh your coffee. Also, you open it like that, it can help you to weigh the coffee, and then you can put it back like that, with the coffee powder in case you have coffee powder. And then this is the basket itself. Definitely this is not the Picopresso's basket. This is an IMS precision basket. I'm using it with the Picopresso since so many years. It used to come with another basket. Let me show you the basket, the original basket that comes with it. So this is the original basket that used to come with the Picopresso, and this is the IMS basket I'm using with it. This is the IMS La Pavoni basket, 51.5 millimeters basket in diameter. This is 52 millimeters diameter basket. This is the original basket that comes with it, and this is the one I use. It's just half millimeter smaller, but it gives me better extraction, so I've just configured it as my original basket, and I forgot about this one. Used it barely over the years. Okay, so this is about the Picopresso. It just has this bottom part. This is also a piece of rubber. In case you need to see a naked or a bottomless extraction, you can just extract it like that, so you can see the coffee coming out of the basket. In case you don't want any drops to fall here and there, if you have a small cup. So this is what I'm using in most of the time. I just put this piece back, so it gives me kind of like a spout for my extractions. So the extraction will fall from this hole here. It would look like a single stream. The coffee will fall here first, of course, and then it will all, because this has a little bit of a slanting angle, so they would all fall from the hole here. So this is the basic idea of Picopresso. What I didn't like about it is that it's all made of plastic. Though this is a good thing, it doesn't break probably, but it requires you to have something on your hand, because if you do a preheating cycle like I usually do to make sure the coffee is hot, it will end up burning my hands. When I hold it like that, there's no insulation at all, so the heat of the power of the water chamber here will definitely translate to your hand. And this is a machine that works with a pump, so you turn this one on like that, so it comes out. See this mechanism? When this one comes out, you have to make sure you keep pumping throughout the extraction. So the most part that gets annoyed is the weakest part of my hands, which is this one. Okay, so this has a very thin skin comparing to the other skin parts here, for example, if somebody exercises or so you end up hurting these parts. So I use a piece of like anything like that, maybe a sponge or anything like that, in order to put it around my hand. So I put a piece of sponge or fiber like this in the carry case, so that I can just touch my hands with it, so it can isolate the heat from touching my hand. Okay, so this is the basic idea of Picopresso, and it has been really working well over the years. Nobody had any complaints about it, I believe, except that we always wished to have a bigger basket, since this was 52 millimeters basket, and everyone is talking about 58 millimeters basket and all that, especially that there is no a lot of tools for 52 millimeters basket. You cannot find a specifically made tampers or distributors or any of the accessories that people keep looking for to upgrade their coffee workflow or espresso preparation workflow. So this is basically about the Picopresso. Now, on the other hand, for our today's video, we have the Starseeker Super 58. It comes in this carry case, as you have seen it in my previous videos, and you just open the case, and inside the case you get to see, I just put it to make sure nothing shakes inside. This is what's inside the case. This is how it looks like. Looks neat, I would say. It's though it's big, yet it's neat. It has all you need except the needles for the WDT. So you need to just figure out the way to just use your own needle or own WDT to distribute your coffee before tamping. Okay, so what does the carry case have? It has this machine, of course. This is the main machine. This weighs around 1.3 kilograms. This weighs 1.3 kilograms. This is the Super 58. It has a nice grip, though you can also use this piece of rubber in case you need a better and a stronger grip. You can add it to your machine. You can put it here, for example, in the middle, but I don't use it actually. It's nice in my hand, so I didn't think of adding the rubber holder or a rubber grip to it. And it comes also with a brush. It has a longer hand than the brush that comes with the Picopresso. Okay, so you can just make sure the machine is clean before tightening the threads, so that everything goes smooth when you open it and when you close it. And it comes with this dosing ring And this tamper, same idea of like the dosing ring and tamper that come with the Picopresso. Also we have a dosing ring and tamper that come with the Super 58. The tamper has these kind of grooves, so it gives you a shape when you tamp it. And this is just, you can unscrew it like that. Okay, these are all aluminum tools, I believe. And it comes also with this key, because as we have seen my previous videos on this machine, this comes with a screw here that you can play with so that you can change the pressure during the extraction. So if I have to compare both of them in this video, there is a lot of differences between them. For example, there is a gauge here and there's no gauge in the Picopresso. Okay, people always aspired to have a gauge here on the Picopresso or somewhere else, and it's even though it's there or so, it has to come as an attachment, or it has to come as a separate accessory, not as a built-in in the Picopresso's body, because I'm not sure if there is any space for a gauge to come and be at the Picopresso's body. So let me put everything together in the Picopresso so that it goes as a one unit in my hand. So that's everything about it. All of the threads are made of plastic. Some people have complained that this part got broken, or that the part down here got broken. I believe the shower screen gasket gets sometimes some tears, and if this happens, if you keep removing it and adding it, it's very weak. So you end up either that you clean it barely from time to time, or that if you're somebody who keeps on cleaning everything after every extraction, some people complain that this piece gets some tears and then the pressure will not be stable on your coffee, and this will affect the extraction for sure. Okay, I had a lot of issues over the years, and I'm still having the issues when I tighten the lid on the top after putting the hot water. It's a very like serious thing, because there is hot water inside, like boiling water, and when you try to tighten it, sometimes you don't feel that it's tightened properly. If not, while extracting, you'll find that some water is escaping from these parts, or that the sound of the water is escaping from here, which releases the pressure that you're trying to build to make your coffee. So this is one of the downsides of the Picopresso throughout the using with it. Okay, on the other hand, here at the Starseeker's Super 58, there is no lid at all. It's just a small piece of rubber that covers the lid, and so when you press it, okay, it just gets closed. If you shake it like that or like that, it might, like, there might be some drops falling out. The only thing that you count on is that when you put water inside this chamber, you don't need to move a lot, because you just press a single touch button here and then the coffee will fall. You don't need to do any kind of work with your hand like what you do with Picopresso to extract the coffee using your own fingers like that, okay, when you pump it. Okay, some people use it this way, like me. This is the best way I use it. I added this metal part here because I want to see what is the surface level of the coffee while using it, because if it slants here or there, the coffee will keep falling from the sides of the portafilter, or the basket. So I add this water surface level meter like that on the top, so that while extracting, I would see the bubble, the air bubble, so I know that my hand is stable in the middle. Okay, if it goes like that or like that, I would see the bubble moving, so I know that the extraction will not happen and come as a single stream from the bottom part of, or the middle part of the basket. Okay, so I just added this from my own tools to make it easy, magnet for the bubble meter like that, okay, or the water meter. I did the same thing here, but I didn't stick it here. I just, if I use it on the holder, I just wanted to make sure that the holder is like leveled, so that the coffee would fall nicely from the middle of the basket. Okay, so some people use it like that, like what I said. Some other people would use it like that. Okay, so they hold it in one hand like that, and they push with the other hand, this one or that one. But I tried all of them, and the best one for me is when I push with my both hands together on the pump, while fixing my hand in this posture exactly. Okay, so this was the best posture for me while extracting using the Picopresso. Okay, So this guy comes with a chamber that has the word 70 milliliters, but it takes up to 90 or 100 milliliters of water. I tried that on a scale and I saw that the water reaches 100 ml in case I need to make a longo or so. I usually end up making normal espressos that take up to 40 milliliters or 38 to 40 milliliters. So I don't need to go beyond the limit of it. It has this small chamber made of metal. I believe this is an aluminum. I'm not sure if it's aluminum or stainless steel. I believe it's aluminum because it's very light. It has this hole here down that the pump will suck the water from this hole. It has a small mesh in it, if you can see. And this mesh will prevent anything to go through the pump in case there is anything that feel like coffee or powder or so in your water, okay? Easy to clean, of course. There's no restrictions at all, unlike the Picopresso, because all the body is inside, so it's harder to reach the lower parts and try to clean it because the pump already is in the middle of the water chamber. This is the design of the Picopresso, but here the pump is under the chamber, so that the body here is a little bit longer or taller comparing to the body of the Picopresso. So when I saw this one for the first time, I saw it's like a Picopresso, but it has a water chamber over it. So they look very similar in diameter. This is a little bit thicker, okay, but they look very similar in diameter, except that there is a water chamber on the top of this, and on the lower part, of course, also there is the basket itself, okay? In the Picopresso, the basket kind of goes inside the machine, so you don't feel that the basket is separated under the machine, okay? So I hope this gives you a thorough understanding of what each of them is like. So here, as I mentioned, there is a touch button here, and when you click this touch button for 3 seconds, it turns on the machine like that. So you see that there is light coming, and then the machine will turn on. It has 3 marks, and whenever the charge goes down, you will see them like dimming one by one like mobile phones until it becomes no. It means that you need to recharge it. Over the use, it's giving me a great battery life. I don't know how this battery is able to make up to 50, sometimes even 60 cups of espresso with one single charge. It charges with using the USB-C, so I don't need to look for a different socket. I just use my phone's charger to charge it. It charges probably in around 5 hours, or like 4 hours to 5 hours, like that. So when I need to charge it fully, I just leave it overnight. It gets fully charged while sleeping, and when I wake up, I have a machine that gives me 50 to 60 cups of espresso without any worries that it will run out of battery while I'm outside. Okay, it has this gauge. This gauge shows up to 20 bars, and it has the vibratory pump that takes up to 50 bars or produces up to 50 bars of pressure. We know that the espresso usually goes from 9 to 11 bars as a maximum if you go to the classical way of making espresso. Yet they give you the option that you can control that with this key that comes with the machine. So this is a key that you can just use to increase or decrease the pressure. So right now when I close it completely like that, it is closed completely, means that the machine will go up to the maximum pressure it reaches, okay, which usually goes up to 12 bars in case you do the right grind settings. And I know, as usual, that the machines there's some bars will escape here and there while extracting. So the number 12 here, not probably a real 12 bars, it might be 10 or 9, not exact 12. So when it goes from 10 to 12, so number 8 is here, this is number 8, and this is number 12. Usually I try to achieve a middle between them, which gives me a good extraction. But even if it goes up to 12, it doesn't give bad taste to my coffee. If it goes beyond the 12, I know that this is a very fine settings, and usually the coffee doesn't fall as a single stream, it falls as drops by then because it's very fine. So it's not good for the pump to go for very fine settings like these. At the same time, you have the ability to decrease the pressure in case you want by just turning this small key like that, okay, which is anti-clockwise, so that you can achieve less pressure. And this is just a screw. If you take it all out, because sometimes you will need to take this screw out in case you have used a very fine settings, So you will end up releasing the pressure, because unlike the Picopresso, if you have a very fine settings for the coffee, it's very hard to open it from the lower because it has a full pressure inside it, and it's hard to take this part out. Unlike that here, in case there is any kind of very fine grounds that are inside the machine, and so that the pump is not able to push the coffee out of the puck to release the pressure, you can simply unscrew this screw completely like that using this key, and then the pressure will all release from this hole like that. See, this is also one of the things that are here. So when I figured this out, I was like, what if I use, there's no solenoid valve, there is no vacuum or any kind of these things that are there in the big machines, vacuum valve or solenoid valve, so that the pressure will release from somewhere else. So when you take this one out like that, it can go out completely, okay? And then the water will come out from here. So when the water comes out from here, khalas, I mean, this is it. Like, you don't need to worry about the pump or anything, because you simply can put this screw back and tighten it fully so that you can close the gap and give the full pressure back to your coffee. All I wished to have with this machine is that this screw is like kind of having a knob that goes out of it, and I can regulate it left and right using my fingers without this at all. So it goes out, so I can just knob left and right, and it can just go well with me without the need to do anything. I believe it would have been a better idea, and instead of using a screw to tighten it or to unscrew it. Maybe they will do this update or this upgrade in the next versions of it. I believe they can do that. And under here, I'm sorry if the video goes long, but I'm trying to give you full extensive information about both the machines before trying to make coffee with them and see the workflow of each. Here there is a shower screen that is, you cannot take it out unless you unscrew it, okay? And this is how it looks like. And there is a 58 millimeters basket. So I use it nowadays with the IMS Barista Pro basket, okay? And as I mentioned before, this has the same idea of any 58 millimeters portafilter. You can simply use your own baskets. So I used to use it with the stock basket for some time. I added a VST basket to it. I added a Pesado high extraction basket. And nowadays I'm playing with the IMS Barista Pro basket. It's an 18 grams basket that gives me good coffee extractions and also good taste for my coffee. Okay, so this is what I have. So comparing the baskets, I believe it's hard to compare something like this with something like this. So speaking of comparing the baskets together, this is definitely gonna win because it's a bigger basket, it can take more coffee. They promised that this take up to 18 grams of coffee. I keep asking myself, why would I put 18 grams of coffee here while this one, sometimes I don't put it with full 18 grams of coffee. Okay, but just I would use 18 grams of coffee in both of them, and you will see the result, how it looks like, what is the workflow of each and all that. Okay, so I believe this was a good like 23 minutes talking about each of them in a very extensive way. And now let's put everything back in place and let's start making coffee with both of them and see how it goes as a process to make coffee with both of the machines. So right now I heated the coffee. I heated water in the kettle. I will put hot water in each of the chambers just to keep it hot. And meanwhile, I will just prepare my puck. This is what I do when I use the Picopresso. So I put hot water in it, and I keep the hot water inside the chamber for some time to give some heat to the body of the Picopresso. Then I release this water, and then I make my coffee. So sometimes I used to put the Picopresso's body like that over the kettle after I put the hot water in it. So like that. So it gets some heat after I put the I make it all fully like that. I tighten it and I leave it for like few seconds. Instead of wasting any water, I just keep it like that, so it gets the lower part of the Picopresso hot, and this gives me some heat for the body of the Picopresso before making my coffee. Okay, so this was one of the ways I used to heat the basket and everything before extracting the coffee. Okay, right. So what I just ground the coffee. Both of the shots are just at the same step, 35 steps from the 0 point on the Starseeker A55. I'm not sure if this is going to give me a good extraction or no. I really don't know. I will see with you. I hope that I don't have to keep grinding coffee and throwing it, because I feel bad when I keep throwing coffee. Okay, so let's make the puck prep for the Picopresso and see how the workflow goes like. Okay, so use the closing ring, then put the 18 grams of coffee, which looks very big. For me, it's always big. It's always very big to put 18 grams in the Picopresso, because I deal with it as a 51 millimeters basket. يعني. I don't know, but anyway, I just want to go as similar to each other as possible, so I didn't want to make a lower dose here and then put 18 grams there and 16 here, so it doesn't go fair. So 18 grams of coffee here for the Picopresso. Then I will use the tamper, comes with the Picopresso, to press the coffee. This is the exact way that Okako is advising users to do. Of course, you need to make sure that the coffee doesn't fall from the sides, so this is what I'm trying to do with my fingers here. And then I will I'll add a small stamp like that. So I don't want it to go very compressed, because it becomes very painful to unscrew the Picopresso's body after that. Use the brush for the first time in my life. Okay. So this is how it looks like after I just put the coffee and everything. Just put the shower screen next, and then put the Picopresso's body. Okay, make sure you tighten it properly. Now I'll take out the hot water. And just put the kettle for like few seconds again to heat, because I use boiling water with both of them, so that the 5-6 temperatures that release will give me the 92-93 temperature I need. Meanwhile, I just put the Picopresso's body on the top of the kettle while open, so that the steam and the heat will make it hot and nice without making any preheat cycles. Okay. So I put the hot water now. Let's close the Picopresso and let's do the extraction and see how it looks like. Should I remove the lower part for the bottomless? But anyway, I'm not gonna shoot it from the bottom part. The camera is up, and I'm not actually expecting a great extraction, since this coffee is like 1 month old, 3 weeks old, sorry. So it's not very fresh. And the aim of the video is not to capture a good looking extraction as much as a good tasting cup of coffee. So it's hot from the lower part, as I just mentioned, yeah. So let's try to extract and see how the extraction will look like and how long will it take. I will put the cup over the scale just to give myself some like time to see the timer. So I feel the heat right now. It's very hot. I'll use this one to act as an insulator on my hand. Turn on the scale. I hope that you can see everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I leave it for a few seconds. and then I'll see if the extraction will come out nicely, or it is a fine grind, or what. Let's see. Seems hard. So it started to drop now, but the timer stopped, so we'll check the time in the video. But it falls as drops. I think I need to increase my pumps, so probably this needs like a coarser grind. Yeah, it needs a coarser grind. So right now I'm at 16, 17, 18 grams. This is what I'm talking about when using the Picopresso. If you mistake in the grind settings, you are the one who's gonna suffer, because you're the one keeps on pumping and annoying your fingers. Though it gives me good tasting cups, I mean the coffee taste is nice, but right now we're not talking about the coffee taste, it's about the whole process. So that's 36 grams of coffee. Then I use this one, 38 grams of coffee. I use this thing to act as a drip tray, like that. Okay. And I started to sweat, really. I started to sweat. Okay, so right now, this is the cup of coffee. I didn't yet taste it. I want to taste it before making the other cup. And meanwhile, to clean the Picopresso, what I need to do is to just take it to the sink and unscrew this lower part, which is a little bit hard now after the extraction. So I'm trying to clean it on the sink right now. Luckily I have a sink next to my coffee tools. So this is how it looks like in the end. Okay, this is how it looks like exactly. And then you just take it out and you clean. Then you just use any towel to dry everything before putting it all back in place. Okay. So this is the Picopresso after cleaning the basket, and then you put everything back in place after making sure that the chamber is empty. So you just unscrew the lid and you remove the water, excess water, and then you give it a couple of pumps to release any water that was inside the pump, and then the Picopresso is ready after cleaning. So you just put everything back in place, or leave it outside in a dry area to just dry before putting it back together. And this is about the Picopresso and everything related to it. Okay, so then you put the spoon, then you put the shower screen, you close this one, then you have the needle, you have the small brush, put it somewhere here, yeah, this one, and you put this one, the dosing ring, and then the tamper, then you close the lid, and you have done a cup of coffee using the Picopresso. So it's a little bit of a flow, I would say, still many steps and many things to put back together, but this is a Picopresso's Wakako's Picopresso workflow. Now let's see what it takes to make a cup of coffee using the Super 58. There's definitely bitterness, but we will check it on the refractometer in the end and see how the overall process goes together. Okay, so this is the basket. You just unscrew this one from the machine, so it is like that. As we know, this is just a drip tray or a holder in the end, but I use it to just unscrew the whole lower part, and it acts as a base for me also. What I do is just simply put this dosing ring that goes as a magnet, and I put the coffee. Okay, and then I use my own needles. So this is a point for the Picopresso, that it comes with its own needle, though it's not an amazing needle, but it's a needle. I mean, yeah, you don't need to look for a needle to distribute your coffee. Okay, and then I take out the dosing ring. There's always a layer of empty part of the basket because of the edges of the dosing ring. So I usually tap it with my hand like that to make sure that the coffee saturates. My hand will give some vibrations. Yeah, so now it is saturated. Then I would use the tamper. It comes with it also, like we did with the Picopresso. We also do the same steps with Super 58. Very simple puck prep. Maybe because the basket is big, so you don't need to do a lot of effort to make it work. Okay, then I use my puck screen. This is the MHW puck screen, 58 puck screen. So with Picopresso, there is no 52 millimeters puck screen. The puck screen would make sure that the shower screen is not getting dirty, and this is the main and important thing for anyone who makes coffee using a machine. Otherwise, you will keep unscrewing or taking out the gasket of the puck screen of the Picopresso and clean under it to make sure there is no coffee residues there, and this would affect the longevity of the part, of course. Let me put the hot water. So I did the same thing. I put the whole machine over the kettle while the water is boiling, so that it gets hot from the lower part. Then you close the lid like that. Then the machine is ready. So I think the effort that I had to do in order to prepare my puck was very minimal comparing to the other one. Now let's extract the coffee together and see. I think I'll use a big cup like this. Give me a good looking, and at the same time I would see how it looks like. I can use the holder, but I want you to see if I hold it in my hand what will happen, how it's going to be like. And I will try to put this one on the top so that I can see also with my hand how everything looks like. There is no plastic or rubber part to put in the bottom so that it goes at a single stream, so we will have to see the naked extraction. I'll try to make it shown in the mirror before extracting. I hope you can see it. I think it needs to go a little bit down like that. Then you can see the extraction with me. Okay, so I'll turn on the machine. Alright, can you see it? Let me handle it. Let me handle the camera. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fine. So I'll turn on the machine like that. Then it's turned on. I will double click. Let's first turn on the scale, double click, and everything will be done automatically. I don't need to worry about pressing or pumping or anything. Very nice single stream comes from the middle. I am observing the bubble, and the pressure is around 11 to 12. That's it. So I'll use the cup. This is the cup of coffee I made right now with the Super 58. Okay, I just lost the track of the weight. I don't know what happened. I lost track of the weight while doing the coffee, but I can transfer it to another cup and see how much is that. But this is how it looks like. Let's give it a stir and try to see. Okay, this is nice. Okay, so both of them taste nice. The Picopresso's cup is a little bit, it has a little bit of bitterness because it was finer for the Picopresso's body to handle this fine grind. But because this pump here is like, it can go up to 12 bars, so it's fine for it to go and handle such a fine grind. Okay, I just took the lower part out and I'll clean it. So that's everything I need to do with the Super 58. Just take it out and put it under the water tap, and then the coffee will go out. Then the machine is clean. I don't need to worry about anything else or put anything back in place because everything is already in place. Okay, so this is how the Super 58 workflow looks like. For me, it's simpler than the Picopresso, and the automatic function is really a killer point for me because I don't need to worry about pressing with my hand or doing any effort to get the coffee out of the machine. This was really a very peaceful extraction. Now I would use the refractometer to check the TDS together and see what each of them looks like. Okay. This has a lighter body than this one. Let's use the Picopresso first. So the body is different between both of them because this one was longer in extraction. Okay. Start test and see. I hope you can see it. Let me put the camera down. So it goes in the sweet spot. It's nice, little bit. It has a little bit of bitterness, but it is still nice. And as you see, TDS is good, 9.23, which is around the sweet spot. Okay, this is the Picopresso's cup, which is a good thing. Let's see the Super 58 cup. I'll have another sip and see. Has a lighter body. The only thing that I'm worried about is that the quantity of the coffee in the cup. I'm not sure how many grams is that, but it seems bigger than the other one. Let me try to just transfer the coffee to this cup and see. Just want to make sure how much is that. This was the only downside I had in this experiment. So I had a couple of sips and I have 30 grams remaining. So I would say like 40. Okay, say like 40 milliliters. It's not very far. Let's put a sample on the refractometer and check it out together. Okay. Test. It might fall a little bit under that, yeah, it might fall a little bit under that. I'm not sure that if the temperature is a reason for that, or the quantity of water was more than I needed. So I will try to just end my doubts by grinding one more dose and see, because I wanted just to see for myself if this is just a mistake of me or the coffee that didn't come as it should be. So I will grind a cup of coffee quickly, grind a dose quickly, and end these doubts. So take 18 grams. Okay. Give them a couple of spritz. And grind them in the same grinder, Starseeker E55. Okay, so I will quickly do the buck rib. Okay. This was a fast version of the puck rib. The machine is hot already. It's not cold. I didn't even stop the video or do anything. Let's put the water and pour the coffee quickly and see. Try to focus on the scale. I'll use the cup that doesn't take much. Okay. Machine is on. Let's put this one aside. And I will start extracting right now. Use this cup. Just want to show you. Okay, move it down. I think you can see it now, right? Double click. Okay. Folds from the middle. Okay, around 38 to 40 seconds. This is the cup of coffee I made. Looks nice, good cream on the top. Let me try it and see. This has a stronger body, of course. Let's see it on the refractometer. So the first one was 7.58 and it was a little bit weak. Let's see this one together. Just record. It went around 40 seconds. Maybe a little bit more, but we will see together how the extraction is on the device. Test. So it is still falling in the sweet spot. 8 point something, which is nearly 9. So the differences between both of them are not far, and the pressure that shows on the gauge here maybe is not like an actual 15 or 16 bars of pressure. It is still falling within the normal range of espresso pressure. This is how the extraction looks like. So the middle square is the sweet spot. Anything that falls from 18 to 22% of extraction is considered to be an ideal cup of espresso. This is 18.41. You can try to achieve 20, for example, or so that it can give you a better reading. But the difference between the two cups is really visible. This one has more body. Than the other one. This is the Picopresso cup. For me, this has bitterness, yet it depends on everyone's taste buds. Maybe you like the bitterness more. I like the acidic coffee more than the bitter coffee. So I end up going for fruity notes and for light roast coffee. This is my taste in coffee in general. And this was all the experiment I did for today's video. I hope it was giving you some insights. And if we get a conclusion out of the video before ending it, I would say that both of the machines are good. The Picopresso is small, the Super 58 is a little bit bigger. The Super 58 is easier to use because you don't do any effort except pouring the water and preparing your puck. Everything else goes automatically. The Picopresso requires you to do everything manually, and the result of the cup in the end is good, yet it can take you some effort to adjust the grind settings to reach the desired taste that you need to achieve. And on the other hand, for the Super 58, whatever grind settings you go for, you will end up making a cup of coffee. If you need to change, you can just through the water release the pressure without the worry to how to release it, or waiting for the machine until the pressure releases so you can open it. All these issues that come with Picopresso are not there, and meanwhile you can achieve good tasting cup of coffee with both of them, and it's up to you to choose whether you go with something automatic like this that can give you peace of mind, or you go with something manual like this that is a little bit cheaper, but it can be a little bit painful to deal with in the era of having everything automatic. Even the WTT tools are now having motors and they just do everything for you. I think this is it for my today's video. I know it's a long video, yet I wanted to give you the full experiment with me, as if you are with me right now in my kitchen, so that I don't crop, I don't cut, I don't worry about any part of the video. And I hope to see you in the next videos. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one.